Good morning, 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 everybody. I hope everybody's day is off to a great start. I'm thankful to be in the land of the living this morning. I'm thankful to be amongst the living this morning. I'm thankful that God woke me up this morning and gave me another chance. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Grace Amber. I come on different platforms whenever God gives me a word to share. I come on and I share it with you. Really quick this morning, happy Thursday. I have a really quick word for you this morning. This morning I want to talk to you from the topic of a time for everything. A time for everything. What am I talking about today? Let's jump in. So you hear a lot of us quote the scripture, and it's scripture, so it's true. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Well, yeah, that's Bible. So if it's Bible, it's true. But there are a lot of us who are putting our hands to the plow and doing the work of the Lord. There are many people out there, even though the scripture says the laborers are few. Few can mean many, depending on how many. See, they might say few, and we might think three, okay? Because that's the traditional meaning. But it's relative to what they believe that few is. So few could actually be millions depending on what you're comparing it to. So it's really relative to what you're comparing it to. If you only have 10 in your basket and you got 3, okay, so that's not really few. That's more close to half, right? But when you're talking about few could really be millions depending on if you're comparing it to billions and trillions. Few could actually be millions. There are actually many children of God who are putting their hand to the plow, willing to do the work of the Lord, being obedient to God, and who are willing to be used by God. The problem that many of us face is we often find ourselves looking at our schedule, looking at our responsibilities, and then looking at everything that we want to do. And the problem is that it seems that there's just not enough time. Not enough time. You know, you go to work. If you work, you can relate to this. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you can relate to this. You get up in the morning. Say you work traditional hours, 8 to 5. Okay, cool. It might be 6 o'clock before you get home. By the time you hit traffic, grocery shop, pick up dinner, whatever it is, run some errands, pay some bills when you get home, pick up the kids from daycare, get home. Guess what happens next? Okay, now bath time, dinner time, God forbid if it's the school year. Now here comes homework. That's 3 hours right there, depending upon what kind of teacher your child has. You look at all these things, right? Dinner, bath time, homework, keeping the kids from killing each other, because y'all know the kids get rough when the parents get busy. They get pretty rough with each other. You've got all these things, and then poor you at the end of the day, what's left for you? Much less what's left for the things that you want to do. We get so bogged down with requirements and responsibilities and the activities of our daily living, right? We get so caught up and bogged down with these things that we look when it comes to the things of God, and it's like, how much time do I have? God, I got kids. I got this job. If we don't work, we don't eat. I got to take care of our kids, because these are not just our kids. They're God's kids, really, so got to take care of our kids. Got to make sure they clean. Got to make sure they get their bath. Got to make sure they do their homework. Then I got to be clean. God forbid if you got a spouse. That's a whole nother dimension. We hadn't even added that into the equation of your day-to-day requirements and responsibilities. The problem is, yes, the scripture said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. But even though the scripture says few, there are many, and I mean many, of us who are putting our hands to the plow, willing to be used by God. Problem is, it's not enough time. Let me give you this scripture, Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Go down to the 1st verse. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. There is a time for everything. And so God knows your heart, right? And he knows that you want to do the things that he has for you to do. You want to do ministry. You want to go volunteer at the soup kitchen. You want to go do street ministry. You want to go volunteer at the nursing home. You want to go volunteer to do Sunday school for the next year. You want to go volunteer to teach Bible study. You want to be in charge of VCE. You want to be in charge of youth ministry. You want to be in charge of these things. You want to do these things. You want to start the YouTube channel. You want to do the podcast. You want to write the book. The problem is that you can't seem to figure out, how am I going to get this done? Because I don't have enough time. Well, God says there is a time for everything. And if you'll keep putting your hand in his hand, if you'll keep letting him lead you and guide you, if you'll keep submitting yourself to God, you will allow him to order your steps. And he's going to show you that there is a time for everything. Where you're looking at it and you're saying, ain't no way in the world I ain't got enough time to do this. God, I want to do this, but I don't have enough time. God said, just keep trusting in him. Put your hand in his hand and keep it there. Keep submitting to him. Keep letting him order your steps, right? And in letting him order your steps, he's going to show you that where you say that you don't have enough time, he's going to show you how to make time. He's going to show you how to manage your time. He's going to show you how to be a good steward over your time. He's going to show you how to be a faithful steward and a better steward over your time. There is a time for everything. We can't see it because we're human. But our Father sees your schedule. He knows everything you got on your plate. He knows your spouse, your kids, your job, everything you got to do on an everyday basis. Bless your heart. You just one person. And God said, guess what? The harvest is plentiful. The laborers are few. But for you who are willing, there is a time for everything. And if you will trust in him and continue to let him order your steps, he will show you that you got time. There's time. Where other people couldn't do half of what you're doing right now with your current schedule, he's going to show you how to do everything you're doing right now and some with the same number of hours, because the hours ain't changing in a day. We got 24 hours in a day, and that ain't going to change. He's going to show you how to get everything done that you currently have on your plate and everything that you have in your heart and your mind to do for the kingdom. He's going to show you where you say that you ain't got time. He's going to show you that there is a time for everything and that you do have time. And if you trust him, he will show you how to work this thing so that you get everything done and some, and you still got some time left over. God said, trust in him and he will show you where you're saying that you don't have time. You got time. There is a time for everything that you have on your plate and in your heart and in your head to do. There's time. God will show you. Just continue to trust in him, continue to walk with him, and continue to let him order your steps. And you will see that you have more than enough time to get everything done that you want to get done and that you have to get done. I love you. Happy Thursday. I am Grace Amber. I hope that word blessed you. I will be right back on tomorrow with another word, good Lord willing.